What's good, guys? It is Sam here. Just updated my spreadsheet for my net worth, and I wanted to go over that with you. But before I do that, make sure you press that subscribe button and that little bell notification, so it'll be like jingle bells all year round, every day in your phone when I post a new video. Get a notification. All right, so for those of you who don't know what a net worth statement is, and I'm not trying to be facetious here, you just take the total amount of assets you have minus the total amount of liability. So the things that are worth money, right? The things that I don't include, right? So like my phone, right? That's technically worth a little bit of money. My computer, right? That's worth some money. My laptop's worth a little bit of money. My camera's worth a little bit of money. My bed and furniture around the house. My car, right? All these things, not included in this number. What is included are my investments. Ooh, actually, I forgot to add one on here. So actually, I know roughly what the balance is. So I'm just going to add it to this line here, and then I'll fix it after the fact. All right, so changes the numbers. Nice. Okay, so I started tracking this. So basically, you have your liabilities, right? Or your assets are going to be my investments. I've got a bunch of different bank accounts just because I'm trying to hide money from the government. I'm just kidding. Remember, don't trust anything you hear from somebody who wears a hat like this on the internet yelling at a camera. Come on. Clearly, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So I've got multiple different bank accounts. So I've got my investments, and then I have, and I can show you guys if you're interested. Leave me a comment down below, and I'm happy to share a copy of this with you. And then you have each one of the savings accounts, checking accounts. I have a personal loan. Somebody owes me money, so the balance is on there. I have an investment property that has a separate account, so that one goes in there. By the way, if it just on a side tangent, right? Tangent just means like right on the edge. On a tangent, if you're running a business, try to keep things. And the first year, you're gonna fuck loads of shit up, right? That's just how it works, right? Remember the first time you had sex? You say. Anyways, no comment on that. You want to keep things separately from a tax standpoint and from a legal standpoint. From a tax standpoint, actually they're kind of related, but from a tax standpoint, when you go to do your taxes at the end of the year, you don't remember what the fuck you did in January. Like, you think you're going to remember and you don't. So just a best practice is to spend a little bit of time, I don't care if it's 10 minutes a week, just organizing your shit. Like, that 10 minutes, right? So say that adds up to whatever, 10 hours at the end of the year. That 10 hours is going to be the highest paid 10 hours of your time. I don't care what you're doing. If you're going out selling for your business or you're doing whatever, that 10 hours is going to save you fuckloads of money. By being organized in the process and at least thinking about these things throughout the course of the year. Because at the end of the year, you kind of SOL and it takes a lot more effort. And I guarantee you lose opportunity. So just taking a small fucking modicum of time throughout the year or like every 2 weeks, spend, 20, 30 minutes working on organizing your shit, getting your expenses organized, putting them into a fucking spreadsheet or some type of other software that you use. Whatever works for you, but be organized because that saves you so much money on your taxes at the end of the year. And having them separate makes it easier to fucking organize. So what I do, right, I have a property in Florida. I've got a separate bank account for that. I got a separate savings account. So I can track all the expenses in and out of there. Makes it 1,000 times easier. Nothing else gets used out of that account other than the expenses out of there, right? So it makes it 1,000,000 times easier. Setting up just a different bank account for every little thing that you're gonna do. Plus, the banks fucking love you, right? Every time you go into a bank, they fucking want you to set up an account. So you go in there and they're like, yeah, we'll do that. But just check, you know what I mean? Make sure that you're not going to get ripped off by a lot of banks charging ridiculous fees on dumbass shit. Anyways, okay, so I have the house value on here. To determine the house value, I just kind of guess whatever I think it's worth. So every month I do this calculation. I just add 100 grand to it. So that probably why my net worth is going up. Just kidding. Just kidding. What kind of clown would fucking do that? Same one that would wear his hat like this, right? Thumbs up for that, by the way. I take the property value from Zillow, so just use that, right? And you're like, oh, well, that might not be accurate or whatever the case is. It's close enough. I'm not selling this property. So it's a close enough approximation of what the market value of this property is for this exercise. I have a partner in that. So whatever the property value is, divided by 2 is the price that I put in here for the value of the property. Let's see what else is on here, and then another bank account on here. Now on the liabilities side, I only have 3 liabilities: student loans and the mortgage. And this last one is just credit cards. And I actually don't have anything in credit cards. This is the line item, but it's always 0 because I don't have a balance on my credit cards. And then what I did is, so every month I plug in the numbers, right? And then the column after that, I have it formatted. So it's called a conditional format in Excel. It's conditional format. So positive numbers are green, meaning if you have above 0% increase, that's green. If it's a below, meaning negative, then that is in red. Let me just show you real quick. Did you see that? Did you catch it? Anyways, this is what it looks like, right? Red, green, blah blah blah. So, and I'll go over this in more detail in a second. But so you can program it so it's conditional format in here, so that way you might not be a super into numbers like I am, right? So you were like, wow, oh man, I have to go through and you're actually looking to see which one's increase and which one's decrease and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if you put a conditional format in there, it just pops up. It says grit red, right? So I have 4 asset categories that last time I measured was towards the end of February. Now it's the beginning of April, right? Just a little bit over a month. I have 4 asset categories that went down. Generally speaking, we don't like it when our asset categories go down. And then I have 5 asset categories that went up, right? So I'm just going to show you these numbers. But and then the net worth is just the delta of those 2, right? So you sum all of your assets up. What is that number? And then you take all of your liabilities, you take those. And then the delta of that is your net worth. So I originally started tracking this on July 30th of 2018. And I had a whopping negative $69,834.74 net worth. Negative $70,000 net worth. And it hasn't been a year. However, my net worth has changed substantially. And so I wanted to get into some of these. So then at the bottom, I also have what the percentage change is for my actual net worth. So it went from 69,000 negative to 72 negative, and then to 32. And that's when I sold my business. And then it stayed at then it went from like 32.8 to 32.4 to 29 to 25. These are all negative numbers, right? Like negative $29,000. So all my shit gets sold, and then my estate is still going to be like if I die, right? There's a negative net worth. Like I don't have anything to give anybody because I'm not worth anything from a financial standpoint. Clearly, this is worth something. This is worth something. Dude, imagine having to deal with me at work every day. So then 25, then it went up to 28, and that must have been, I don't remember what happened in that month. I should start putting notes in here so I get to recall some of the things that happened. But the net worth went up, meaning that went bad, right? It went from negative 25,000 to negative 28,000. And that was from October to November. And then in the month of December, it went from 28,200 to 26,600. 6. These are still negative numbers, right? On the 24th of February, so there was about a 2-month gap where I didn't, right, so let's see, December to January, January to February. So there was a little bit over a 2-month gap where I didn't put the numbers in here. But during that time, I had a 32% increase in my net worth. So I went from negative 26,600 to negative 17,800. And then just over a month and about a week or so ago was the last time I input the data. And then I did it a few minutes ago. And my net worth is getting closer and closer to 0. And you're like, why the fuck is he excited about that? That's 0, Sam. Well, that's the first step in the process, right? Like, if you want to be here and you're over here and you're concerned about step 57 or 96 or 104, you're not going to do dick, right? You got to take action today. Take steps to move forward today. You take step 1, and then you'll know what step 2 is. You take step 2, and then you know what step 3 is. You take step 3, and then you know what step 4 is. And the same fucking shit happens if you take action every day towards whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So you're like, I want to start a business. I want to do this, that, and the other thing. Like, but I don't know how to register a business. Like, that's not fucking important. Like, take action on whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, and those other things will come as time goes on. Okay, so another interesting thing, and I'll show you this in a second, is that over this time period, my liabilities have been going. There was, let's see, how many times do I have in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So about 8 or 9 times here, because there was a couple months where I did it multiple times. My liabilities have been increasing probably a little bit over half as quickly as so my liabilities are increasing, meaning the student loans, credit cards, and mortgages. But remember, student loans are 0, so it's my mortgage and my student loans. But then what happens to a mortgage? A mortgage goes down. So what's the one thing that's left? Student loans. You're like, Sam, what the fuck is talking about? Well, I only pay about $100 a month on my student loans. I have over $100,000 in student loans, and the $100 I pay does not cover the amount. So let me show you a little example here. All right, so if you have $100,000 in student loans, and just for easy math here, what we're going to do is we're going to say that you've got a 10% interest rate on that. So that's and that's an annual rate, right? So that's $1,000 per month, right? Or per year. So 10%, not that's 10,000. I'm sorry. So that's $833 roughly in interest per month, right? So my balance is $110,000, $110,700. So if my interest rate is not this. I'm not sure what my interest rate is. Should probably figure it out. Probably around 6%. But my interest rate is this, right? So as I just mentioned, I think it's $97 and change per month for my student loan. So, right? But this is actually the actual interest on here. So they're like, okay, he pays $100 a month. What's the delta on that? Oh, okay, that's $733 interest. So what happens to that? Well, they capitalize that. And what that means when you capitalize something is that you turn it into an asset, right? But this is not an asset for me. It's an asset for the person who holds the student loans. So they capitalize that money and they add it to the loan balance. So that's what capitalization means. If you were to do a roof on a property, instead of expensing it today, you would have to capitalize that and depreciate it. Excuse me, again, tangent, but so that is the reason that my liabilities have been increasing. At some point, I'll be taking action to reduce that. I'm in the process of trying to purchase a 3-family and potentially another property. So at some point, I would like to be able to start really hacking away at that, maybe after I get this 3-family, if I can get it, then it will virtually erase my $1,000 a month apartment here, and I'll be making money on top of that. So that additional income and getting rid of this will actually, and all the difference on that will all go towards the student loans. But I'll keep you guys posted. So I'll probably do an update like this every quarter. So don't forget to subscribe. I will tell you exactly what I'm doing. Also, if you guys are interested, and I'm about to show you this spreadsheet, I swear. If you guys are interested, I'm just documenting the process of me figuring out how to make $100 a day online. I don't know what I was doing 5 months ago when I started, and I barely know what I'm doing now. But it's working, right? Like last month I made over $1,400. You can check out my profile if you want to watch that video. Just click on the picture and go back to my channel, look at the videos. One of them says $1,450 roughly in the title. Click on that video and it'll tell you exactly how I did it. That was from 6 different sources of income. And the month before that was like I made $9. So I went from like $9 to $1,400. So you can go check that out. And every week or two I do an earnings update. So if you want to follow along, if this is interesting, if you have ambitions to like do something online, or if you know somebody who has ambitions to do something online, or just create a more purposeful, intentional life on how they want to live, share this video with them. Right? Like, I think everybody has the potential to live a much more purposeful and intentional life, doing the things that they actually enjoy doing. However, it's not something that's talked about, right? People might say, do you, or like, do what you love to do. But for so many people, they don't know what that is. They don't know how to do what they love to do as a living. They don't know that business piece of it. And that's what I'm trying to articulate here. I'll tell you exactly what the fuck I'm doing. I'm running Instagram ads, and this is how much money I'm spending. This is how it's working. This is how it's fucking not working. You know what I mean? All of that shit. How I'm growing my social media presence across all my platforms. If you want to watch that video, go back to the channel. I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing and how I'm getting there. And if you want to follow along with that, subscribe. I'm going to get there, whether that's in the next 6 months or whether it's 18 months down the road. And then I'll show you what I'm doing afterwards. So the intention is over the next several years is to more than likely get a passport in another country and then potentially move away from the US or temporary or whatever. We'll see how it goes from there. So make sure you subscribe. If you guys have any questions about any of this shit, don't forget to leave them down below. Real quick, let me show you this. So this is what it looks like. Right, as I mentioned, green means good. We like that. I should have like a bad sound effect. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, good. Actually, that's not good, right? This is a student loans. Holy fuck, Sam, $110,000. But if you look at this, my assets are growing, right? At over 3%, while my liabilities actually went down, which is awesome. They were 167, and now they're at 166. So that is a good thing. That is a good thing to see you go from this to here. Probably within the next several months, I would hope to reach 0. And then the journey starts. Dab. Appreciate you guys. Peace.